I like to use that video in my blog post, plus post it on YouTube and have it as a backup in case Facebook, yeah, it's really weak over here. So anyway, so that's what that little break is over here. For some reason my camera stopped. Okay, so it's not all about you. It's about the solution that you have for your readers. Or it's about the entertainment for your readers. You want to draw them in, okay? And as a matter of fact, I did not mention, but only like 20% of the blogs out there actually make any money. So if you want to make some money from your blogs, yeah, my Facebook connection is just not going to work, I don't think. That's okay. That's why I want this recording to work. So, don't continue to talk about yourself. Stories are great. Use stories because storytelling is definitely a way to connect with your readers, but don't make it about yourself. Tell your story, but use it to help inspire or connect with your readers. Use it to help solve their problems. Murder weapon number 2 is, if a lot of people think that if they build their blog, people will come. But the issue there is that's not true. Just because it exists, people won't come. So you do need to drive traffic to your blog. And if you need to learn how to drive traffic to your blog, ask me. I know lots of ways, and I also know where you can get some perfect training, where you can learn how to drive traffic to your blog in $10 a day, in 10 minutes a day. So that was murder weapon at number 2. Number 3 is writing spontaneously. And yeah, it is about, you do want to use your creativity and all that, but it's still, the bottom line is that you're trying to make some money on your blog. You also need to solve people's problems, and you got to get to the point, because if you're too creative, you're going to lose your reader. Next murder weapon is no engagement, and that would be, and I've done this before, I've gone onto people's blogs, made comments, and nothing. Make sure you read your comments on your blog and reply to them. So I know that a lot of us want to be behind our computer and not interact with people, but we need to. And speaking of that, that was another killer. So the next, boy, my Facebook one is driving me nuts over here. I'm sorry if you can't hear me. I really don't know if there's anything I can do about it, but just visit my blog post later, because my video recording will be there. Murder weapon, the next murder weapon is headlines. Yes, you have to learn some copywriting skills. Yes, you have to learn how to write a good headline. So, and the reason why, and this is where the bonus tips are going to come in, but you have to have a headline that that draws your reader in, that brings in some curiosity. Then you need some subheadlines, and you need to break up your content, because most people don't actually go to your blog post and read it word for word. They actually skim through it, and those subheadlines are what will catch their eyes. And those subheadlines are what will provoke the curiosity. Now, in my blog posts, in this one in particular, I want them to watch this video. So most of the meat of it is going to be in this video, and I'm going to use the headlines to provoke that curiosity, hopefully. I'm still a blog in progress, so, I'm learning just like you. That's why I'm LearnWithGinny. Anyway, Go back to school. So this is simple. Turn on your spell checker. Use the grammar and spell checker in your word processing so that you don't have all those mistakes. If you don't know the difference between there, and there, if you're writing in English, then find out, because it's going to be a stopper for your readers. Now, I'm not saying that it has to be perfect, because, we all make mistakes, and some of it is okay because you do want to write the way you talk. And hopefully you talk clear English that they can read. I don't know how many blog posts I'll be reading and I'll I just can't get through it because I don't understand what they're saying. And then, I've run across my own that are like that. So go back and read them and correct them. Use your spell checker, use your grammar checker. And then I tell you to ditch school because the way you wrote an English paper is not the way you're going to write a blog post. You need to be conversational, and you need to be you. You need to use a tone and reach your readers, because this is about connecting with them. This is about being you and attracting customers. And the only way you're going to do that is by being you and expressing yourself the way you talk. So when I read your blog post, I should be able to hear your voice in my head. So hopefully when you read mine, you'll hear my voice in your head. You got to ditch all that extra, how you write an essay in English class. You just don't do it that way. Writing a blog post is different. The next killer is don't go to the party. I want you to go to the party. I know, again, that we want to sit behind our computers, make money without interacting with people, but we need to be social. So find a few bloggers that you like and subscribe to their blogs so that you get their new posts, and then comment on some of their posts. I actually sometimes link to their posts, because if I find the content really good, I'm like, you know what, this relates to what I'm writing about. Here's a link to that post where I found this information. I usually put those at the bottom. Helps your SEO too. SEO, if you don't know, is search engine optimization. So that's I am not an expert in SEO, so I just know what it is because of my little tool. So anyway, the next killer murder weapon is formatting. Use the default formats in your blog theme that you have, because if you have too much formatting and too much going on your blog, it makes it hard to read. So as a matter of fact, even colored backgrounds and stuff like that, it's much easier to read a black on white, for example. I ran across a blog post a while back that was kind of a gray background with a light. It was really hard to read. And, I need glasses now. So not that I'm your perfect blog reader, but if it's hard to read, you're not going to stick around. People don't take the time to stick around. So any little thing that will block them from staying on your blog post, you want to fix. And finally, you're too busy to be consistent, and you only post every once in a while. So I try to post on my blog every day, 5 days a week. Now that's a lot, and I know Ray Higdon posts on his blog every single day. He doesn't skip a day. Now, I do have a lot going on with my kids, so I'm telling you right now that you will see me on video tomorrow, but you won't see me on Saturday and Sunday. But be consistent. Be there. I do know that some blog posts that I read. If I see the date on it and I see that it's an old blog post, I might just leave because it doesn't feel like it's pertinent to right now. And some age-old advice and learning is ageless and priceless, but some of it is here and now, like especially in technology. So I'm going to move to my bonus tips, and these are 3 tips that I got from Andrew John yesterday. So make sure you watch. If you scroll through my posts, you should find his post on my Facebook page. It's at LearnWithGinny, and you'll be able to watch his 3 tips. And he's like one of the best bloggers I know. So make sure you check that video out. It's about 20 minutes long, but there's a lot of tips in there. I'm going to give you 3 of them right now. So don't squander the space above the fold. And this is an old marketing term because people don't read the newspaper as much anymore. But the way you fold a newspaper, they always put the best headline above the fold. And there's a reason for that, because it draws, and then it says continued on page, blah, 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 because they want you to open it and read it. So it's always above the fold. And on our blogs, in our content, in our videos, it's the first few seconds. If you're going on and on about yourself, I do introduce myself because I don't know that all of you know who I am, but you want to draw them in to the content. You want them to be provoke their curiosity and bring them in to the content, whatever it is. If it's an audio, if a podcast, if it's a video, if it's a blog post, if it's an email, that headline is important, and that's the space above the fold. That's the first few seconds of whatever media you're using. So create a promise that the time spent with you will be worth it. And that's, you notice in the beginning I said make sure you stick to the end because I got 3 more tips. So, that's part of it, keeping them involved. One mistake that I've made over and over again on my blog, and I'm going to share this with you because I don't want you to do the same thing. Fix it right now. I create my headline, then I repeat it on the title, then the featured image, I might repeat it too. And the reason why I was doing that was because the SEO, says, well, you're not using your keyword, so I would repeat it. But by doing that, I'm losing my reader, because they're like, that's boring. They're reading the same headline. It's not drawing them in. So vary it up. Like if you have a great headline for your title, then vary it up in your headline, or your heading 1 of it. It's the H1 in the programming terms, but don't use the exact same thing over and over again. And that's me. I think he was talking about my blog. Anyway, that's a great tip. So I'm definitely going to go back and fix a few. I can't fix all 200 of them or whatever, how many blog posts I have by now, but definitely take that tip. So don't reiterate the benefit. That's another, part of that tip. So you don't need to repeat yourself like I'm doing right now, right? So once you have the click to your blog post is the key. So the traffic. Again, if you need training on that, let me know. I'll point you to a great course. But once you get that click, you want to keep them there. So make sure the blog post builds towards something. It builds their interest and curiosity and keeps them in. People are scanners. I already mentioned that. They don't read word for word. So make sure your sub-headlines also draw them in, and don't give them the whole point you know, a little bit of curiosity in the subheadlines so that they want to read what's under the headline. Oh, I might need to know that. If they're scanning through, they'll stop and they'll read. So you keep drawing people back into the content with your subheadlines. And finally, another little tip for those subheadlines, you could use the ellipsis sign, the dot, dot, dot. It's like there's more. So, you know, it's almost like a pause, like you got part of the information and now they got to read more. So that's a great one. Use that one. And every 300 words at least you should have a subheadline, because if it's too much all clumped together, again, you lose your reader. They're not reading your blog post word for word. It's just not the way people read online these days. They just scan to see if there's anything pertinent that they need that will help them. So, that was it. I hope you have a great day, and I hope this helps your blog be better. I know that these tips will help my blog be better. So make sure you go to my blog post and get your free training, marketing training. It's a 10-day boot camp, and it will definitely help. And then ask me if you need more training on getting people to your blog, getting that traffic, because there's a great course that will teach you to do that. 10 minutes a day, $10 a day. All right, so make it a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, or today's Friday, isn't it? I will not see you tomorrow. I have a baseball tournament, so I'm going to be gone all weekend. Make it a great day. On Facebook Live, make sure you check the blog post out, because my recorded video will be on there. So I'm going to turn it off. See ya.